This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. The Psycho Rangers are known to be some of the most iconic villains in Power Rangers history. And some of you may not know that there was actually a sixth Psycho Ranger. One more evil and one more stronger than the rest. And this guy was lost to time, space, and history. That is, until now. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's up everybody, it's Este here, and welcome back to another episode of Power Rangers Explained, where I explain everything in the Power Rangers universe. In this episode, we're talking about the Psycho Green Ranger, the original and lost sixth Ranger of the Psycho Rangers. Psycho Green is a character exclusive to the Power Rangers comics, especially issues of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic book series and the graphic novel, The Psychopath. He had no in-space equivalent or Super Sentai equivalent, and also there was no green in-space ranger either. If you don't know how the Psycho Rangers work, their minds were basically connected to each one of the in-space rangers, copying their moves and attacks. With there being no green in-space ranger, Psycho Green was on his own, with his sick and insane mind. And he really is a psychopath. So let's talk about Psycho Green's origin, with his original name being Trek. Trek is from the planet Zebria, which is the same planet as Trip, the Time Force Green Ranger. He was a part of the Supersonic Rangers team, but he wouldn't really get along with the team much, especially Ace, the team's Red Ranger, as they would have a lot of arguments. With that in mind, Dark Spectre would make contact with Trek, filling his head with the idea of bad thoughts, making him think that his team thought that he was worthless and that they never considered him one of their own. And all these dark thoughts that Dark Spectre put in Trek's head basically put him under his control, following every single one of Dark Spectre's commands. Star, the team's Pink Ranger, would notice the change in Trek, as she grew concerned over her inability to read Trek's thoughts. On their last mission, Trek tried to warn Star against continuing with the mission, but she went in with the rest of the Supersonic Rangers into a building that would soon explode. And you know who survived? Trek, basically, who would end up finding Ace, the team's Red Ranger, in a pile of rubble, to then confess to Ace himself that he was the one that organized this entire attack against the Supersonic Rangers that was before shooting Ace, boom, dead. And Trek at this point was far too gone. He was a lost soul, alright? So he left the planet Inferius to go to Dark Spectre and tell him about what happened. By the way, I want to add, if this is your first time watching, I'm Este. You know what? Nice to meet you. Be sure to subscribe and ring notification bell to join the E-Squad today. We're over 70,000 strong, and I would love to have you, alright? Let's be friends and talk about Power Rangers. Dark Spectre would then use his dark powers to change Trek's supersonic morpher into a new evil morpher, along with a new ranger form being the first ever Psycho Ranger, that being Psycho Green, Dark Spectre's right-hand man. And throughout the years after that, we would see Trek go on many different missions under Dark Spectre, including one in the 1860s, where he was actually sent to the moon to release Rita Repulsa, the main villain of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, about 130 or so years before she actually did, ultimately. But what ultimately stopped Trek was the works of Zordon and Alpha 5, who actually set up defense mechanisms on the planet. They actually had defense blasters literally shooting down Psycho Green's ship. So now stuck on the moon, Psycho Green ultimately went into hibernation. However, 100 years later in 1969, the events of the moon landing awoken Psycho Green once again, and he would go on to continue this mission to release Rita Repulsa from her dumpster. However, there were no defense blasters in 1969, we had something better, a team of Power Rangers, that being the first ever team of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, also known as the 1969 Rangers. Nikolai and Jamie, the Blue and Black Rangers respectively, would engage in battle with Psycho Green, with Trek managing to crush Jamie to death with a boulder. As Grace, Torona, and Daniel arrived, Psycho Green battled them too, killing Daniel by destroying his visor and exposing him to the vacuum of space. He ultimately later finds the dumpster that he was supposed to release Rita out of, but ultimately, he got taken down, as he got stopped by the Rangers' power blasters. But it didn't destroy him though. It merely turned on his monster form, which is a green monster giant being. Really scary stuff. If you're enjoying this video so far, give this a big old like, because 1,500 likes and I'll talk about more evil Rangers, because I know you love them. But after chasing the trio of Rangers into Rita's palace, he would finally be incapacitated by Nikolai, who sacrificed himself to cause an explosion inside of Psycho Green. The only thing we would see left of Psycho Green was the dagger that was taken by Grace, the Red Ranger. If you want to learn more about the 1969 Rangers and their adventures, go check out my video on the top 5 alternate forms of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And now, a word from our sponsor. Do you know what's more scary than an evil version of a superhero? Data breaches. But for those instances, we have our superhero of the day, Atlas VPN. Now, if you don't know what Atlas VPN is, what they do is basically send all your internet traffic through an encrypted tunnel. And through these means, they can protect you from spying, public Wi-Fi dangers, and even hide your IP address and your internet activity. Now, internet safety is very important to me, and it should be for you too. So with Atlas VPN's data breach monitor, I can see any past or recent breaches where my personal information could have possibly been exposed. So for this holiday season, give yourself a gift of becoming a VPN rockstar with early access to Atlas VPN's Black Friday deal if you click the link in the description down below. Now, Atlas VPN can really save you sometimes. For me, one example being that I bought Paramount Plus. And for you E-Squad members, you may know that I live on the little island in the Caribbean known as Puerto Rico. So when I bought Paramount Plus and I tried to log in, I found out that Paramount Plus is actually not available in Puerto Rico at all. I can buy the subscription, but not actually use it. But with Atlas VPN, I can connect to one of the many servers that they have over in the United States and go catch up on that new season of iCarly, which is actually pretty funny, by the way, my opinion. But you can use this feature on many different services as well, simply by logging into a server that they have around the world. And since you can connect to any one of these multiple servers, you may know that pricing is kind of adjusted when you go country to country. For you guys, it means that you can save a few dollars on subscription services, like for Spotify. You can get a big discount for that one. But as you know, the holiday season coming up, so for you E-Squad members, that means we have a big gift for you. Click our special link in the description down below to get early access to Atlas VPN's Black Friday deal with 86% off and 3 extra months for free. That's right, for free. If you add this all up, basically you'll be paying $1.39 a month. That's mad. But like the holiday seasons and Black Friday itself, this deal won't last forever. So get Atlas VPN today by clicking the link in the description down below before it's too late. But now, back to the video. This is not the end of Trek's adventures yet, guys, because Trek was alive, just buried deep inside the moon. There's a little bit of the combination of Dark Specter's dark energy and Trek's connection to the Morphin grid, which kept him alive for many, many years. He even managed to dodge the Z-wave, which was the wave, the energy wave that Zordon emitted when he died, destroying all villains, excluding Trek. Trek would escape and manage to find the data cards of the 5 Psycho Rangers that came after him. Basically, he reprogrammed the whole team, resurrecting them into becoming more loyal to each other and being loyal to anybody who is the child of Dark Specter. Trek actually considered himself being brothers to Astronema in a way, as they were both born out of Dark Specter's evil powers, with the Psycho Rangers actually calling Astronema like mommy, mother.
Mommy? Sorry. Mommy? Sorry.
And Trek was just being down bad. He learned that Dark Specter was destroyed and wanted to rebuild his army once again after a countdown to destruction. He even had Corone, who was once Astronema, reprogrammed into becoming like another Astronema mixed with Corone type thing to become evil basically. However, that was a bad idea on Trek's part, to be honest, because Trek would start to lose control of his own Psycho Rangers, with them connecting more to Corone than him. And the only Psycho Ranger that was ultimately on Trek's side was the Yellow Psycho Ranger, which by the way is the only Psycho Ranger that we don't know the name of. It's just Yellow, because I guess you're yellow, you're evil. I don't have a joke in my head for that, okay? I can't think of jokes all the time. So as you can imagine, this did not end well for Trek, as Trek ended up in jail. In prison, not destroyed, just in prison. And we can assume that Trek is still there, to this day, actually, because we never saw him after that. Who knows if Trek escaped and defeated any other Power Rangers, we don't know that. But for now, that is Psycho Green explained. What do you guys think of Trek's origins and possible future? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Thank you so much, E-Squad, for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, @DonFuego. I'm also on Instagram, @NotDonFuego. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're at. And of course, and as always, stay awesome, everybody.